All right, beautiful people, let's get in here. We have got some stuff to talk about. We have something breaking. Kamala has made her choice for VP. And don't worry, she didn't do the smart one. She did something that made herself even more extreme and more insanely socialist by picking the obvious socialist pick. As you guys get in here, make sure you hit me with that 5x5. Make sure we are good to go because, oh my goodness, guys, this is next level what she just did. She chose VP candidate Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota. So as you get in here, like I said, make sure that you are hitting me on the 5x5. Make sure we are squared away. I've got to show you some stuff. This has ramifications on the presidential election in general. This has ramifications for the gun rights, the gun control. Oh, this is going to be a thing. So make sure you send this out because this is the only place where you're going to get the bridge of political analysis and the gun rights all together. And that's what we're in here. So as you get in here, guys, please send this out because this... Oh, this is a big one, people. This is a real big one. So, oh, God. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on if you guys are coming in later. But, oh, on this replay. What's up, guys? Michigan gun owner, welcome in, welcome in. This is going to be a thing. Loud and clear, good stuff, 5x5, excellent. I am glad to hear you guys can hear me. Oh, this is going to be a fun video. I got a lot of clips just from initial research, something that we covered as a potential dark horse candidate last week or a couple days ago. It's coming to pass, baby. Oh, as you guys get in here, we're going to get to the magic number and then we're going to hit it. This is insane. All right, 5x5, who'd she pick? We're going to talk about it. 5x5, excellent. You guys can hear and see me very, very good. Make sure you guys are sending this out because this is breaking news as of an hour ago. I got a few things I spent furiously collecting what I've got. We're going to break it down all further. We're going to give you an analysis. We're going to give you all the gun control implications, the presidential implications. I'm going to do that all right now as soon as we get in here. All right, guys. Excellent, excellent. Who knew a dumpster fire could burn so long? Well, a lot more fuel just got thrown to the fire. I'm going to be real with you because she has chosen Minnesota Governor Walz. Like, Tim Walz is so lefty. We're about to walk through the entire thing. Let me get my situation all set up for us, and then we are gonna go into this. And by the way, guys, let me know in the comments, do you like the little channel art, the little propaganda I'm putting down there right underneath me? Because it's something I do for fun. I think it's a nice little garnish. But as we get in here, I can't wait to share this with you guys. Loud and clear, that's amazing. Arizona on board, love the art, cool. He's a big FUD, the biggest of FUDs, probably the greatest FUD of all time. He is kind of like Elmer Fuddie, like he is legitimately. All right, we've got plenty of people, so guys, as you're coming in here, make sure you send this one out, make sure you share it, make sure you're getting as many people on board subscribing and making sure YouTube doesn't screw you and delete your subscription. This is who she has chosen. Harris has personally informed Walz that he is her VP pick. Now, this is the governor of Minnesota. We did a video 2-3 days ago where he was going through his gun control speech and State of the State. We're going to hit all of this as we go forward. But this was one of the wild horse picks. This is one of the top three. You had Shapiro, you had Mark Kelly in Arizona, and then you had Tim Walz in Minnesota. I'm going to break all that down in here in a second, but let me show you what's going on. Of course, CNN has got to tell you how amazing it is that she did it through Zoom call, and she did it, you know, wearing a purple dress after she had a biscuit, maybe a biscotti with her coffee. You know how CNN be. But let me continue and show you what's going on here. This is mind-blowing. Again, this is breaking as of an hour ago, so we're learning about this stuff together. Polling conducted by Harris campaign did not show significant national movement with any VP finalist. Now remember, the finalist was, again, Shapiro, Kelly, and Walz. So nationally, they're saying there was no bump. It didn't really matter. Well, let me show you some of the deeper intel here, because if you believe it didn't matter, you aren't good at politicking. Anyway, continue here. As VP President Kamala, or VP, excuse me, good Lord. As Vice President Kamala Harris entered the final stretch of deliberating over her vice presidential running pick, the Harris campaign was armed with research, vetting materials, and polling on the finalists. CNN covering Democrats. This last piece right here, I'm going to highlight it for us. This part is massive. Both Shapiro and Kelly were shown to improve the Democratic ticket's chances against Donald Trump in Pennsylvania and Arizona, respectively, but those improvements were only on the margins, the source added. Okay, I'm going to leave that highlighted for a second. To win the presidency, you have to have the Electoral College. The Electoral College is determined by what they call swing states. Pennsylvania and Arizona are both swing states. Mark Kelly, the senator, had a potential chance to flip Arizona. Maybe not, maybe, but there's a chance. And Josh Shapiro had a very good chance of flipping Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is one of the most important swing states, the keystone state, for either the Democrats or the Republicans. If you use a governor who has a 60% approval rating, who's viewed as a moderate, who's articulate, who literally would counter all of Kamala's vulnerabilities, that would be Josh Shapiro. But they threw him away. So they got rid of both swing state possibilities for a deep blue state, Minnesota, because he's an old crusty white socialist. Because apparently they'd lose Michigan if they chose someone with the last name of Shapiro, which opens up a whole different realm of concerns with the Democratic Party and their priorities. I'm going to leave that one alone because obvious reasons. But this is what they've done. Okay, so now let me get into a very important point. If you guys are getting in here, we've got a new VP candidate. Make sure you're sharing this out, liking the video, subscribing, because, oh, this is the stuff right here. Let me show you this next piece. Chris Cillizza, who is no conservative, said this is a weird choice. It is a weird choice. They purposefully gave up 2 swing state candidates for Tim Walz. Okay? And when I show you the clips that I'm about to show you, it might make sense why she did this, other than the fact that there's a serious problem in the Democratic Party with anyone last name Shapiro. So, this is a big one, guys. And as you get in, everyone's saying hello, this is awesome. Thought Harrison, Philadelphia today to make her announcement. She is. Like, they've leaked and they've said it's Walz. Like, it's it. That's it. It's Walz. All right, listen to this. This is, and then we're going to play the clip. Breaking, Kamala Harris has selected Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her VP pick for the 2024 election, according to CNN. Walz blindsided the competition and rose in popularity last week when one of his interviews went viral. Walz is seen as a safer pick for the Harris campaign compared to Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, a Jewish man. Okay, I'm going to leave that out, kind of obvious. Here's what I'll say on this. I'm going to be as tactful as I can because I'm on internet and I'm on YouTube Live. Jewish Americans, if the candidate who makes the most sense electorally and for the presidential ticket to beat the threat to democracy, Donald Trump, if you overlook that person simply because his last name is Shapiro and he has a history of interacting with the Jewish coalition, my big question to you is, why are you in that Democratic Party? It's your choice. You do you. But there's a concern there. Anyway, let me play this clip real quick because this is who they stepped over, the candidate out of a swing state as important as Pennsylvania. This is what he said. Remember, VP candidates are supposed to be able to counter and neutralize the vulnerabilities of the presidential candidates. Okay? Listen to this.
But we can get out there, reach out, make the case. And for one thing, don't ever shy away from our progressive values. One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness.
Should Minnesota be a sanctuary state?
If the definition of that is that the federal government enforces immigration law and local law enforcement enforces local law, then yes.
Should cities be allowed to be sanctuary cities?
Yes, local control.
Stuff.
All right.
Number 2, it seems like elected officials are always surrounded by lots of people, staff, other lawmakers. What is the last thing that you did truly out in the public, truly by yourself?
I went to Menards and bought an air filter for my furnace.
Oh, he's so relatable. Now, here's the irony of this, guys. Again, as I mentioned before I showed that clip, the idea of a VP candidate is to counter the vulnerabilities of the presidential candidate, right? We already know he's a gun controller. We're going to get to that in a second. It's going to play in a moment. But if you are afraid of being called a socialist and extreme communistic rhetoric and the most far left senator ever ranked in the United States Senate, as in Kamala Harris is, and you're trying to run away from that moniker, does it make sense to put a candidate up that says, well, one person's socialism is another person's neighborliness? And then if your secondary issue is immigration and the border, does it make sense to put a candidate up who literally doubles down on sanctuary cities and border issues? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. This is political malpractice. And you lost all swing state vulnerability or availabilities too, and they're a gun controller? Guys, this is woo! All right, got one more thing for you. I'm going to play this clip. Here's another one. This is on CNN. This is where gun control comes in. Again, the bridge between politics general and gun rights and gun control is a very closely tied bridge, and we are always trying to tie it closer together. Listen to this clip right here. This is a crazy one.
And I want to be very clear. I'm not speaking about the people at his rallies. Those are my relatives. Those are folks that are there. And look, he would be entertaining.
Because that's what
if he
Republicans are
wasn't
saying.
so
They're
threatened
saying,
all
oh,
those
you're calling Trump and all his supporters weird.
That is exactly the last thing I'm saying. I'm saying these are folks, like I said, these are my neighbors. They're there. These are good people. They're going there because, yeah, they're disenfranchised. Not why J.D. Vance thinks. He gets that all wrong. I grew up in a town of 400 and graduated with 24 classmates, 12 cousins. I know these people. This isn't what this is about. I'm talking about those people there that we need to make the case to them. These are people that Democrats, they felt like Democrats have spoken down to them, that we've not gotten and reached where they're at, that they're trying to be who they are. That's what J.D. Vance's stick is, talking about guns. I guarantee you he can't shoot pheasants like I can. And that's a part of saying, but you know what? I guarantee I don't want weapons of war in classrooms, and there's no reason that you can't have reasonable restrictions around that without infringing on your Second Amendment.
All right, so the one piece of this, before I start mocking this like crazy, the one piece of this that's really important that they're going to try to go, and the angle that they're going to put forward is they're going to try to do the populist angle. They're going to try to say he's a man of the people. Look, he got a filter for his furnace. You guys do that. He hunts pheasant better than J.D. Vance does. I mean, it's all about gun control and common sense regulations without infringing upon the Second Amendment. All of that. The angle is going to be, I'm from a town of 400 people. I was a teacher. I love people. You know what? Democrats have been speaking down to the blue-collar workers. It's countering the narrative in the Rust Belt. That's what they're going to try to do from the populist angle. Now, the only problem with that is every single main point that's a focal point of this election, all the things that the voters care about, he's directly against, and so is Kamala Harris. They haven't done anything to neutralize that concern. They've only amplified it with this pick. But again, Pennsylvania was the obvious choice. Mark Kelly in Arizona was we'll see what happens. But they went with the crusty old white guy socialist from Minnesota. Guys, I don't know what to tell you. This is the world we live in. But as we go into this, he is a gun-controlling candidate. Make no mistake about it. He is for sanctuary cities. Make no mistake about it. The exact same problems that Kamala Harris has, she just amplified by doing a candidate that does the same thing. And that's before all the stuff comes out on him, too. Because there's lots on him, too. Like some dodging deployment. There's some DUI stuff that people are mentioning right here. This is insane. But let me jump into the comments really quick. Oh, gosh. Guys, don't believe the polls, even if it's on our side. Just get everyone you can ballot. Okay, so that's a very good point. As we go into this and as we continue to cover this and we do more of the digging on the gun control, all those pieces, everything that I tell you from a standpoint of the politics, the polls, the analysis, where the vulnerabilities are, where the strengths are, none of it matters. You got to vote. From a standpoint of affecting your vote, whether you do or don't, let nothing I say, other than please go vote, impact you on voting. Because I'm going to tell you as best I can what the state of play is. That doesn't mean you don't vote. Like if you're winning in Arizona, yeah, you still go vote. If you think that you're going to win in polling in Pennsylvania, you still go vote. Think of it as the perspective of you're always behind and they need your vote to get over the finish line. That's the way you think about it. I will say it on a disclaimer every single video. But good point. Remodeling his basement, Pelosi's drinking buddy. Yeah, the only poll. You guys are getting feisty in these comments. That's hilarious. So, in summation here, where we're talking about with Tim Walz, this is the least likely choice. This is the least beneficial choice. This is someone who reaffirms her radicalism. And you're going to see, this is the fun part of how to tie this together. You're going to see the candidacy on the right, up and down the ballot. You're going to tie Kamala and Tim Walz to the Kamala crash and wacky Walz. You're going to see socialism ties. You're going to see extreme rhetoric ties. You're going to see the extremist ticket. It's going to be painted as such. They're going to try to say we're the populist ticket. They're going to get painted as the extremist ticket. And on the most important issues that are in this election, from immigration, inflation, and the economy, they fail and they just double down on the worst parts of all of it. I'm telling you guys, this is a really big development, and they missed the ball on this one. They did. Their principles and their ideas overrode their common sense, which say what you will about it, but that's kind of where we're sitting. I mean, guys, this is crazy. Did he say he was in a graduating class of 24, 11 of which were his cousins? No, that's not what he said, Kenneth. What he said was he's from a town of 400. His graduating class was 24, and in that town, 12 of them were his cousins. That's what he was saying. He was trying to say, look, I'm a populist just like you guys. That's the angle that they're going for. But this guy is a gun controller. I've done videos on it like a day ago. I said this is a dark horse candidate. This is who it could be. We'll do more and more stuff on it. But make no mistake, this is the most gun controlling ticket that we've ever seen. These two make Biden look like a respectable, constitutional, faring lefty. That's who these two look like. It is a very big problem. If they were to win, I'm not exaggerating, you would see the biggest assault on our gun rights, more so than Obama, more so than Biden. These two are extremely radical. But they just made an electoral mistake. They did. I'm going to jump into the comments real quick and just see what you guys are thinking. He's his own grandpa. It's another ding-dong. Absolutely get out and vote. We can't have work. Yeah, that you gotta get out and vote. That's exactly correct. So she picks the governor who watched the state burn because of his experience watching things burn. Yeah, I mean that's talking about Minnesota during the peaceful protests that were warm with a lot of bonfires. Yeah, that one. Now this one, Edward Satterfield. Kelly would have been just as bad. Now here's what's interesting, Edward. That's a good point. Kelly would have been just as bad on 2A, 100%. But because this guy, Tim Walz, doesn't bring any type of swing state, doesn't bring any type of electoral advantage, that's actually a worse pick for them. Now, for us, from a standpoint of the gun control aspect, yeah, Kelly would have been tied in directly to Giffords.org, who he's married to, his wife, Gabby Giffords, into the White House, which would have been absolutely a problem. So we don't have to worry about that anymore. Now we just have to worry about your run-of-the-mill socialist. Great. But you've got a very good point. Very, very good point. Just so you know, this is the second time your live stream has been interrupted for a pro-Kamala Harris commercial. Just so you guys know, they're going to do that. They're doing a massive spend over the next 70, 80 days. It's going to happen. Look at it this way. You're funding the fight against them by watching these videos and letting them waste their money. So there you go. Look at it like that. So she picks the governor. We covered that one. Okay, cool. It's time to drain the swamp, hardware store, and spend a few bucks. That's right. All right, people. Listen. That's the breaking news. You guys seem to have it pretty well covered in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this live stream. Please send this one out. If you guys are watching the rewind of this, also send it out. We've got a country to save, some 2A rights to pass along, and thank you for your attention for these last few minutes. And I will see you on the next one. We bring more this way.